نبرمو إريتران بري نبرلنا أبنبار فغري كم تقد خمت نايت مالي حلنا مبر حيل انتاي قباري متكل حباشكم ساب سعاري نبرمو هاجرنا نبري نبرلنا أبنبار فغري كم تقد خمت نايت مالي حلنا مبر حيل انتاي قباري متكل حباشكم ساب سعاري سمت بخبر زفرة كنت خنداخي حليفو كنت محتم مزفرة زيد أخ مخوان عدد عدل الحقري فغر البيو فتوتي امنتي بنايو امنتي تمرت السمعات قدلخي ششو صحلاي مكيتو زمكنة تحبين اللود الزخي ميت ناتساز والسنة تحبي سلوب عزوخي الرمت أقرب حدث اسمره من بار مالت مساخي
Prosecuting Attorney General Keith Ellison all of us here are immigrants in America, just equal to the amount of fight that we did for our independence. African Americans paved the path for us to stand over here as equal humans because they persevered. The persecution of all the discrimination. The civil rights movement of the 1960s and the 70s paved the path for us to say we are Americans. And chief among them, right now we have an African American mayor leading one of the best cities in America. We have the first black attorney general in the state of Minnesota, Keith Ellison. I met Keith Ellison when he was first running for representative. He came to our radio. I saw what kind of a brilliant person he was. He ran again and he came to our radio. He never forgot us. He was here in this same venue for our Independence Day a couple of years ago. This is before George Floyd happened, before he became a big world name. He didn't forget us then, he didn't forget us now. So I want to introduce these two great pillars of our community. Mayor Melvin and Attorney General Keith Ellison.
Thank you. Brother, let's say thank you very much. Happy 30th anniversary! I want to congratulate you on the pride, the commitment, the courage. I want to commit you and tell you that it is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to be with you as you lift up your voices. 30 years of independence, that is worth celebrating. Congratulations. And I want to thank you for telling me the history and sharing the history with us. Not all of us know the great struggles that you have been through, but when we come to events like this, we learn it. Those of us who may not be Eritrean ourselves, we still care about you and we want to know your history. We want to know what you've been through. And I also want to thank you, SA, for going through the history because a lot of the young ones born right here in Minnesota, they may not know. They may not know. You got to tell the young ones, you got to tell them, you can't let them forget. You got to teach them the language. You got to make sure they know who they are. Very important to go through history. And so let me also add that while your heart is in Eritrea, your feet are in Minnesota and the United States. And we thank you for the contributions to this country, to the United States. I want to thank you. All over this state of Minnesota, people know that the Eritrean community is organizing, is making a contribution, is voting, is giving its talent, its skill, and its creativity to make a better Minnesota. In fact, one of my interns is right back there. Wave your hand, young lady. She did a great job for my office. Stand up, girl. Come on now. I want you to see her. She's shy, but she's very smart and she's very talented, just like so many other young Eritreans right here in Minnesota. So give them a hand. I want them to see you. I want folks to see you. She was one of our interns. She did a great job. She did. You know, so I just want to say, give her a hand one more time, y'all. We gotta encourage her. We gotta encourage her. We gotta let them know they're doing good. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm also proud of the young activists who are making democracy work for everybody. And I also want to thank the young folks who are going into medicine, in science, in business. You're doing great things for Minnesota. Thank you for doing that. And let me say finally, it was my honor to represent the state of Minnesota in the state versus Derek Chauvin trial. And I mention that because once you step on U.S. soil and they can tell you're a black person, they don't care whether you're from Eritrea, Nigeria, Mississippi, or Chicago. You know, the bottom line is we all have a right to democracy, no matter what skin we're in, and we're going to stand up for our rights, and we're going to demand equal treatment, and demand equal treatment under the law, and I'm proud to be a part of that, and proud you are a part of that. With that, happy Independence Day!
Thank you. I wanted to have Rahus Baham Natanet. Happy Independence Day. 30 years. 30 years. 30 years is a big deal. A lot can happen in 30 years. As I look around this space, I see our religious leaders. I see our business leaders. I see our cultural leaders. And I see these young people who are going to lead us into the future. And we know that we have unlimited potential all over this space, all over our Eritrean community, right here in St. Paul, right here in Minnesota. Is that right? And we also know something that some people sometimes take for granted, that we're not going to take for granted in this space, and that is that freedom isn't free. And that is liberty, justice, all of the things that our Attorney General, Keith Ellison, just said. And you know what? Give it up. I'm telling you, Keith Ellison is a mentor, a friend of mine. He fights for all of us. He fights for justice. He fights for peace. And I heard what was just said, Mr. Attorney General, and that was, you can win, not just with war, but you can win with peace. And thank you for demonstrating how you win a major battle with peace for justice all over the globe. Thank you so much. But we know that those liberties, those freedoms, the ability to practice our own religion, the ability to open up a business, the ability to just speak our own languages without persecution is something we can never take for granted. The ability to vote and participate in a democracy. The ability to enjoy our freedoms without having to worry about being harassed or brutalized or unjustly arrested or searched. Those things are things that we cannot take for granted. And that's one of the reasons that I just really enjoyed being in this space. And let me tell you, I know without a shadow of a doubt when I leave this place, that if nothing else, our Eritrean community knows how to start a party. I'm gonna have to go home and change shirts because I'm all sweaty from dancing. But I just want to say this. When I was growing up, we used to always say, accept diversity. We used to always talk about how we wanted to accept diversity. As though we were going to take people from Eritrea, and from Nigeria, and from Somalia, and from Southeast Asia, and from my own neighborhood, and say, we accept you to come in and be like us. We're not doing that anymore. This isn't just about accepting diversity. This is about celebrating all of the different cultures, all of the different languages, all of the different religions, all of the different identities, all of the different foods, all of the different people, all of the different history, all of the different richness that comes into our city. And that's what makes St. Paul an amazing place. St. Paul would not be St. Paul without the Eritrean community. So I'm not here to St. Paul. I'm here to thank you for making St. Paul who we are today. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to serve as your mayor. And I'm honored and deeply appreciative for everything that every single one of you does to make Minnesota, to make the United States, to make St. Paul, to make your neighborhood, to make our communities such a phenomenal place. To our young people, congratulations and happy. Now I'm official. I would have danced better if I had this, I can tell you. To our young people, you make sure you keep our language alive. You hear me? Learn this language. Make sure you learn this. I know there's people at school who are speaking English or speaking other languages. You keep this language alive. You keep these cultures alive. And 30 years from now, when one of you are the mayor of our city, I will look forward to coming and saying to you again, Rahus Bahal Natinet.
زمن تعدل سلال حصانا بالفقري نحنا ندليو سلام نقزانا على بوردك يوم نستعير كأنا رهو حسمت قزيت عديك بلي عدي ترقم تمرق عالم نحنا نهلو قدي يا قدي